So I basically grew up in the church. My mom first brought me to Streams Community when I was 4 years old. And I grew up knowing about God, knowing that He existed, and I thought that I knew Him, but I didn't. I didn't know what it meant to actually be in relationship with God. And yeah, over time, I went to church because it was the thing that you did on Sundays. It just became a habit, and I didn't mind going. Like it was fun seeing my friends and family. But the year that I turned 18, I started having access to all these things, and basically I would lie to my mom every weekend. I would tell her that I was going to a sleepover, but actually I was going to the clubs, I was partying, and I was drinking, smoking. I was living for the world. I would still make it to fellowship on Sundays. I'd go to make mom happy so that she would let me go back out the following weekend. Yeah, and at some point my parents announced that they were splitting up, and that was even more of a reason for me to go out. After a while, I started to feel empty and alone and just really sad. I'd go out to try and fill that emptiness, but then I would come home feeling even more alone, even more empty. And I remember I would look at the world, I would look at other people and think, there's no way that anyone is truly happy. I thought that it was normal to be sad, and I thought that no one can ever truly be happy. They just get better at hiding their sadness. And that was my mindset for a really long time. I couldn't see past the hole that I was in. So I tried to stop. I tried to stop going out. I tried to stop hanging out with certain people, but it didn't really work. And I ended up going back to these things, going back to this lifestyle. And I remember one night I talked to God and I said, God, I am so weak and I need you. And I told him that I am not strong enough to walk away from this lifestyle. Like, if you want me to stop doing these things, you have to take away the desire, because I'm not strong enough to do it on my own. He heard me. He had been there all along. That was when COVID hit and everyone was forced into lockdown, and I physically couldn't go anywhere. I used the lockdown to start reading my Bible and just, really spending time with God, and all of a sudden it was like a veil had been lifted. It was like my eyes had been opened and everything just started to make sense. That emptiness that I felt, I started to feel happy, like true happiness, true joy. And true joy only comes from God. I think that in me humbling myself before God and admitting that I need Him, it allowed me to honor that and lift me out of the sadness and loneliness that I was experiencing. God doesn't ask us to clean up our act before we go to Him. He just wants us to go to Him and He will clean us up. Yeah, and in that lockdown, even though I had grown up saying the prayer of salvation like a million times, I said it again in my room, but this time I finally meant it. I'm so grateful and blessed that God has chosen to reveal Himself to me. Today I'm a youth leader, and I never thought that I would be one. And I really want young people to know that true joy does exist, and feeling sad and depressed is not normal. Only God can fill the void. Drugs and alcohol and nothing will ever truly satisfy. So yeah, thank you for listening.